Alright, so first things first, make sure you support your vehicle properly. Get jack stands. One thing that I did not do, and I should have done, is supported both sides of the vehicle up off the ground. I had one wheel on the ground, and that is unfortunately why you see me doing what I'm doing now. I've got a scissor jack in between the upper control arm and the frame unibody of the vehicle, and I am in jacking that downward, trying to, well, as you can see, I'm just getting the pressure off of that arm. I think it's a 10 millimeter, maybe 8 millimeter, probably 10 millimeter bolt holding the bottom of that air spring to the lower control arm, and I just wiggle it out of place. Be careful there, you could probably lose some fingers if things are not supported properly. And there we go, a little wiggle action and it pops right out. One pro tip is I used a pair of vice grips attached to a paint can opener. If you don't know what a paint can opener is, Google it. And that's actually how I got the clip out of the top of that air spring. And I did not have to remove the fender liners to do it. Right now I'm just kind of speeding things up not to bore you guys to death. But yeah, so you got one clip on top, paint can opener to pop that out, and then of course the I think it's 10 millimeter bolt in the bottom, the air spring. It comes out and then just under your airline. I did have to disconnect the airline from its guides, that way I'd get a little extra length to remove that. Here I'm just kind of cleaning the base up a little bit, not much going on there. And here we are putting on new fittings. This kind of takes me a little while. I'm just being very careful, and this is again, it's kind of a big deal, which a lot of people may overlook, is I'm putting new O-rings. I clipped the line back to get fresh brand new line, and I'm putting in new O-rings. I did use an O-ring lube. You might be able to use like a lithium grease or something, but yeah, definitely put the new seals in, the new nut and everything else. Expansion is obviously you don't want that thing leaking. And again, this takes a little bit of time here, trying to tighten that down onto the new spring. And that is a plastic fitting, so you don't want to get all crazy. You don't want to go over tightening it and snap it off, because then you're just creating more work for later. Yeah, really pretty straightforward. And honestly, if I had everything ready to go, I'm kind of setting you guys up for this one. Is, man, this should only take maybe an hour, if that. And you're going to save thousands of dollars versus going to Land Rover, Jaguar, whatever the hell it is now. The air springs were fairly cheap too. I think I maybe spent, I'm going to say less than $300 for both sides for the rear. So now I'm going to slip the top part into place, and I'm going to put that clip back on there. And this time, I think putting the clip in, I just took some really long needle nose pliers, lined that thing up, and then I took, I do believe it was like a pry bar or a machine bar and a hammer, and I just tapped it into place. There's the clip, and like I said, you just slide that clip into place. Not much going on there. If you will notice at the bottom of your air spring, there's a little tab there which will line up into a slot for the lower control arm, so that will get lined up perfectly. Yeah, this is such an easy job. Why the dealership charges so much? Probably because of what it costs to send technicians to school to be able to do this. But other than that, man, anybody can do this. There's no reason why. I mean, I guess if you don't have a floor jack, maybe you don't have a garage, maybe you don't have the place to do it. The only thing that, like I said, here you see I'm cranking that scissor jack that I put between the upper control arm and the body. Had I jacked the whole entire vehicle up, put it on jack stands like I should have, just a simple floor jack would have sufficed, and I probably would not have done any of what I'm doing right now. So that would have saved more time. So yeah, man, good luck to you guys. If you really, these air springs I've had on here for probably close to, well over half of a year now, and they're doing just fine. I was kind of worried about that little seam that you may see there, and that's just part of the molding process. But other than that, these things are solid, and they are a heck of a lot cheaper than what I got quoted from Land Rover dealership, Land Rover Range Rover Jaguar, whatever it is, dealership, as far as replacing them, even the price just on the springs. So yeah, you could save a ton of money. I don't assume these things go out that often. Get the left and right side of the vehicle off the ground so there's no pressure on the sway bar.